Good afternoon, Cowboy Jim here, Fort McMurray, Alberta, and I I just wanted to say good morning, or it's afternoon, I guess now, and I wanted to comment on the atrocity that took place yesterday. 19 kids and two teachers murdered. Uvalde, Texas, I believe it is, and as a result, protesters are lined up outside the NRA convention in Texas that they're having. And the thing that I find to be astounding is the mental acuity of politicians who have an agenda. And in this instance, it is banning assault weapons. When I was a kid, it was well recognized throughout our Irish community that when weapons are banned, there then is no restraint against those who perpetrate such evil as what has happened down there. And it is evil. And so the protesters, under the tutelage, I suppose, direction, directly, indirectly, of the Democratic Party, Liberal Party in the States, are protesting the NRA, National Rifle Association, when they should be protesting against unquestioned stupidity, unquestioned evil, unquestioned, it cannot be questioned, legal system that exists, that is in place, that were that legal system to be have been followed, yesterday's tragedy would not happen at all. That same idiot that killed 19 children and two teachers 4 years ago, when he was 18, is my understanding, he was taken into custody and questioned at length because he had publicly made it known that when he turned 22, and I hope this is accurate, but that when he turned 22, he was going to shoot the hell out of a school. And the legal system, there are enough laws on the books if people pay attention to them, abide by them, follow them, according to law. That's already there. But here's the deal. Don't let a tragedy go to waste. That's how politicians think, feel. But rather make use of that tragedy. Make use of the blood that is spilt. 19 kids. 19. Two teachers. And the guy, since he was initially questioned 4 years ago, was allowed, because someone did not do their job. That's the problem, eh? Someone did not do their job. But he was allowed to buy two assault rifles. And he went in, and 7 clips. He went in to that school after he shot the hell out of the windows, which led to the first 911 call. And he went in and started killing children. And I am anti-abuse. Well, I'm actually anti-abortion as well. But I guarantee you this, I am anti-people killing children. And I am anti-politicians who truly exemplify what it is to be the scum of the earth when they use a tragedy like this to further their political agenda. So, the first call went out to 911. I'm not certain. I've heard several different numbers today, but it was over an hour or more that idiot, that evil person, was allowed to kill children. Little children were calling 911 saying, please send the police, please help, please. A teacher was doing the same thing. A teacher was keeping everyone updated about where in the school the killer was. And the police waited over an hour. I thought I heard an hour and 45 minutes, but over an hour. They let that evil, mentally ill nutcase continue to kill kids. Well, the police waited outside, and then they actually got inside the school into a hallway, but they didn't do a thing. They didn't do a thing until someone apparently sent a 911 saying the shooter is holed up gave the room number apparently. And then the police moved in and shot him. So my question is this: why aren't the protesters protesting against stupidity? Not that there aren't enough laws. There are plenty of laws if they were enforced. What is wrong with the idea of taking a bullet for a kid? But the police waited in the hallway. The protesters should be protesting stupidity. Perhaps cowardice. That is a tough one. There were parents. One lady, her child was inside. She was going in. The police were outside waiting around for something. They say now, I saw the interview this morning, they say now, the police are saying they handled it poorly. Well, no kidding. 19 children, 2 teachers, while the police wait for over an hour to intervene? You think you behaved badly? I'm in favor of guns. I'm in favor of fists. I'm in favor of any defense mechanism that would deter someone perpetrating such an atrocity against myself and my grandkids, my sons, my neighbors. I'm against that. I want to be ready, willing, and capable of responding to bullies, whether they're mentally ill or not. And I think a bully is, generally speaking, mentally ill in some degree. Democrats in the states, they are now crying out for more gun laws. There are several words on the tip of my tongue that I need not use. But Dios, immoral, and it is stupid. Because if every teacher who worked in that school had been trained, if they chose to be, to carry a gun to protect themselves and the students, do you think some idiot would go into a school that was fully armed, fully trained, fully prepared to defend the kids? That mother tried to get in past police. The police solution to control the mother was to put handcuffs on her. She ran into the school, apparently, anyways, with bloody handcuffs on. And that's the problem. Politicians have handcuffed those who should be fulfilling the law. And law enforcement, because of the Crown attorneys, prosecutors down there, they don't know. They don't know if when they go to work today, are they going to get sued tomorrow? Well, those officers and that police department, they're going to get sued, let me tell you. 19 kids, 2 teachers, they're going to get sued. It'd be a blessing if they don't get shot. I hope they don't get shot. But those officers, particularly the leadership, but those officers should leave that community. They should disappear off somewhere, change their names, because their actions were disgusting, sickening. You don't let a kid get killed so that your own sorry skin can be saved. And teachers and people who work in schools, and I mean janitors for all that matter, they should be armed, and they should be trained, and they should be well able to defend themselves and defend the kids. And so politicians, particularly liberals, in the states they're called Democrats, they will not allow a perfectly good tragedy go to waste. They will further their game plan, their agenda. I have had a tiny bit of experience with an abuser. He's still alive. I think that's good, because God, the Creator, metes out his own justice. And people say, well, where was God when all this was going on? God was exactly where he had to be, because God will not force himself on you. If God forced himself on you, you then would have no choice whether or not to believe. You would have to believe. God does not do that. He gives people freedom of choice. And that is where evil comes in. People choose good or they choose evil. It's very simple. So where was God? Probably standing at heaven's gate to give every one of those baby children a welcome home. That doesn't help the families. Children, well, that's also children who have been aborted, have not come to the age of responsibility the age of being with mental acuity, able to choose who and what they believe in. God takes those people right into heaven. That's a fact. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to believe anything. It's your choice. I'd rather believe something that had a little bit of hope than believe in nothing that had no hope at all, not a hope in hell. And I don't put people down because they don't believe as I do. That would not be right. But don't pick on God. Pick on the bloody liberal Democratic Party down in the States who want to further their political agenda, no matter the situation. And sure, ban all assault rifles. And you think criminals are going to be restrained because all the strength armament has been taken away from the public? No. Criminals will still find a way. A handgun on the street, if it's untraceable, is worth about $200 more than the same handgun that you can buy in a gun shop that is traceable. And guns should be traceable. And the reason for that is who is in authority behind that particular gun. And that's important. But you think criminals are going to be deterred by more gun laws? No. The only people that will be turned off, deterred, will be the honest people who just want to live. They want their little kids to grow up, to have a life, to live that life without fear and prejudice and racism and every other ism there is in the book. So, sure, go ahead and ban guns. But I'm telling you, you should ban stupidity first and cowardice. Because if those police, if their children were in that school, I bet they sure as hell would have gone in and wiped that guy right off the earth. So, you're going to listen to talking points, or you're going to get down to the truth, to what counts. How can you make a difference? How can I make a difference? Well, one, by my trying not to be stupid, my trying to understand what really is going on. It's kind of like, I think it's more important why a person says something than what it is they say. Okay? Ban guns? No. And I saw a protester on there today, dear Lord, all living proof that not everybody shares my opinion. And they were saying it's a proven fact that where there are limited gun laws and guns are allowed to be carried, criminality increases. It's the exact opposite. But a politician will say anything to be heard and anything to get reelected, to be reelected. It is unfortunate. And I mean, it truly is unfortunate that people can't trust mathematics in that if one man has a gun, in this instance he had 200 rounds, he had 7 clips. It doesn't matter if the clips were 50 or 20. It matters that the guy was nuts. That's what matters. It matters that the guy freely took the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers. Children, don't waste your breath banning guns. Well, unless you can be assured that there is not a criminal out there that still has a gun. But if a gun isn't used, then it'll be a car, a truck. It'll be hate, it'll be racism, all those things. So anyways, my condolences to those families who have lost their children and the families of, there was one teacher there who was killed. When her husband heard about it, he had a heart attack and died. They had 4 children. Those 4 kids, their mom killed, their dad died. I don't know. I know what the answer is. I really do. People would not commit crimes as they do if every teacher in every school who wanted to, chose to, had a vest handy in the classroom that they could throw on and were armed. Evil's still going to be pervasive, but there'd be a whole lot less of it. So God bless. If you disagree with me, that's all right. I don't have to be right all the time. Oh, now and again it's good. My condolences for the loss of life because of evil and stupidity and cowardice. Over and out, children.